$1,200. Seriously, think about that number for a second. Have you ever found yourself stopped at a red light, staring at the gleaming chrome of a brand new, massive truck sitting right next to you and just kind of wondering, how in the world do regular people actually afford this? Well, here's the brutal truth. They don't. $1,200 is the actual monthly payment millions of everyday people are dropping on new vehicles right now. It's a number that absolutely defies basic mathematics for the median earner. And as we're about to see, it is actively destroying their future wealth.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, our goal is pretty ambitious. We're going to completely shatter the modern American dream of financed wealth. You know the exact one I'm talking about, right? The big house, the massive truck in the driveway, the maxed out credit cards, all of the things that create this shiny illusion of being rich while actually keeping you dead broke. We're going to replace that illusion entirely and give you a definitive, step-by-step blueprint for actual, mathematically proven financial freedom.
All right, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with the modern wealth illusion, then move into the house poor trap, the $10,000 psychological shift, the $20,000 momentum factor, and finally, the ultimate investing blueprint. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The modern wealth illusion, or as I like to call it, driving into debt.
You know, if you really want to understand why so many people are broke these days, honestly, just look in their driveway. Millions of folks are essentially restructuring their entire financial lives around a truck. I call this automotive Stockholm syndrome. See, the auto industry isn't just selling transportation anymore. They are selling a complete identity. When you buy a $70,000 truck, you're buying the fantasy that you're successful, rugged, and reliable. And because people tie their very self-worth to that vehicle, they become emotionally attached to their financial captor. They will fiercely defend the very $900 payment that is keeping them broke, rather than just admit they made a mistake.
Okay, let's break down the brutal math here. To make these massive payments feel affordable, lenders are now stretching out car loans to 7 or even 8 years. There is no way around this. If you take a $900 truck payment and stretch it over 8 years, it costs you well over $86,000. And at the end of that absolute marathon of a loan, what do you have? A heavily depreciated asset. Instead of building real wealth, you've essentially engineered a wealth destruction machine right in your own driveway, all while paying thousands of dollars in interest to a bank.
Moving on to Section 2, the house poor trap, and the frankly brutal math of a $500,000 house.
Now, it's not just the cars. We've got to look at the other massive pillar of the American dream, the classic starter home. If you've been sitting there wondering why you feel totally priced out of the market lately, let me just validate your anxiety right now. The median income mathematically cannot support this. Let's deconstruct these scary numbers with a little bit of tough love. Your mortgage broker? Oh, they might happily tell you the principal and interest is around $2,850, but they conveniently downplay everything else. Once you add in property taxes, sky-high insurance, an essential maintenance budget, and private mortgage insurance, which, let's be real, is basically a poverty tax for not having a 20% down payment, your actual monthly costs balloons to over $4,300.
To put this into perspective, imagine a real household, let's say a dual-income family bringing in a very healthy $160,000 a year. On paper, their gross monthly income looks absolutely fantastic, at over $13,000. But wait until you see the reality. After taxes, that $4,300 house payment, 2 of those car payments we just talked about, student loans, and just basic groceries, they are left with a measly $1,500 for the entire month. Think about that. They're spending nearly half their take-home pay just on a house, leaving almost zero margin for building actual generational wealth.
Section 3, the $10,000 psychological shift. This is all about moving from survival to opportunity.
So we've gone over the math that traps people. Now let's pivot to the cure. There is a profound, almost magical psychological liberation that happens when you hit your first 5-figure savings milestone. So the big question is, what does $10,000 actually buy you? Most people assume it's just about having emergency money for a new roof or a surprise medical bill. But actually, saving this money isn't just a math chore. It is purchasing mental bandwidth. You are quite literally buying a completely new identity as a saver, proving to yourself that you finally control your money rather than letting it control you.
It's wild, but neuroscientists have actually found that seeing a 5-figure balance in your bank account noticeably reduces your cortisol levels. That's your body's primary stress hormone. Reaching $10,000 doesn't just change your finances, it literally changes your biology. Suddenly, when the check engine light comes on in your car, your brain's reaction shifts from sheer existential panic to just mild annoyance. It buys you pure peace of mind.
Think about the incredible contrast here. Without savings, you are constantly stuck in survival mode. Every single micro decision, like whether to buy name-brand cereal or the generic stuff, burns valuable mental energy. Every choice feels dangerous because it's filtered through fear and scarcity. But with 10 grand sitting in the bank, you unlock opportunity mode. You finally have the mental space to just breathe. You get the confidence to negotiate, to take calculated risks, and to spot income-boosting opportunities because you aren't completely exhausted by daily decision fatigue anymore.
That brings us to Section 4, the $20,000 momentum factor, and the incredible math of compounding.
Okay, so 10 grand buys you peace of mind, right? But 20,000 is the true threshold where your financial boulder finally crests the hill and gravity actually starts working in your favor. Let's look at how this compounding momentum builds. If you manage to save and invest $1,000 a month, getting to your first 20,000 takes 19 long grinding months. It's tough. But your second 20,000, it only takes 17 months. Why is that? Because your money is finally waking up and doing the heavy lifting right alongside you. And fast forward a bit, eventually, when your portfolio grows, you'll be generating $20,000 every 5 months without lifting a single finger. That is the absolute magic of compounding momentum.
Plus, hitting that $20,000 mark gives you something I like to call walking away money. And let me tell you, this is an absolute superpower. You are no longer desperate, you can negotiate your salary from a genuine position of strength, you can push back on completely unreasonable demands at work, or hey, you can even leave a toxic job altogether. This creates this massive, positive feedback loop of confidence that actually accelerates your career and boosts your income even further.
Which leads us to Section 5, the ultimate investing blueprint, your step-by-step guide.
All right, this is the payoff you've been waiting for. If you've built the discipline to save, you need to know exactly where to put those hard-earned dollars. There is an optimal order of operations here, and doing this wrong is honestly like trying to build a house on quicksand. Here is the definitive domino effect for your money. Step 1. Build that emergency fund we just talked about. Step 2. Completely crush any high-interest debt. Step 3. Get your free money through your employer match. Step 4. Max out your IRA. Step 5. Utilize the secret weapon, the HSA. And Step 6. Max out the rest of your 401k. Trying to skip around these steps, it's literally like running a marathon with a backpack full of rocks.
I really want to zoom in on Step 2 for a second. 22%. That is the average interest rate on credit card debt right now. I see folks all the time buying crypto or picking individual stocks while carrying 22% debt. Listen to me, this is mathematical suicide. Paying off that credit card is a guaranteed 22% return on your money. That is way better than what Warren Buffett makes in the stock market on a good year. You absolutely have to clear the debt first.
And then there's Step 5, the Health Savings Account, or HSA. It is, without a doubt, the most underutilized Swiss Army knife in personal finance because it gives you a triple tax advantage. You get a tax deduction when the money goes in, it grows completely tax-free, and you can withdraw it tax-free from medical expenses. If you leave it invested, it is the ultimate secret weapon for building long-term wealth and covering those inevitable retirement healthcare costs.
This is exactly why we absolutely prioritize these specific steps before even touching a regular taxable brokerage account. Standard taxable accounts suffer a constant IRS tax drag on dividends and capital gains. It's like trying to run a race with sand in your shoes. You're just constantly being slowed down. But by using this blueprint, you can shelter tens of thousands of dollars annually in tax-advantaged accounts. Over a few decades, avoiding that tax drag can literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's huge.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. Are you building actual wealth, or are you just buying the illusion of it? Are you out there financing a $70,000 truck and stretching your budget for a house that keeps you up at night staring at the ceiling? Or are you aggressively building your emergency fund, clearing your debt, and finally letting compound interest work for you? The math out there is totally brutal, but as you've seen today, the blueprint is clear. It's time to stop playing a rigged game, take back control, and start building real financial independence.